Hello, water signs, and welcome to your Saturn retrograde tarot reading. I'm going to talk a little bit about what Saturn retrograde is because I feel it's way more important than Mercury retrograde. But if you really don't care about what Saturn retrograde means, go ahead and go to the description box below and click the timestamp for your sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. But for those of you who are interested in what Saturn retrograde is all about, I will let you know. Saturn is the planet of karma, okay? So where Saturn is in your natal chart says a lot about where you are really working and growing this lifetime, okay? Because Saturn is our disciplinarian. It creates the obstacles, it creates the challenges for us to grow us to our greatest potential. But the thing about Saturn is, even though it's extremely challenging, as we do the work and we really push ourselves, then when the retrograde comes, we do this review and see, what we have accomplished, what still needs improvement. But if you have been doing the work, you get the reward for that, okay? It's like, think of Saturn like this, as if you're going to college and after all that time, there comes graduation and you receive your degree. And that you only get that degree if you've been putting the work in. And, also the grades you have are very contingent upon how much work you put in or don't put in, right? So if you've kind of just been half-assing it, you'll still get that degree, but how much is it really worth, okay? So you've got to think of Saturn in that capacity. There is reward, but it comes from your hard work and your effort. And for those of you that have Saturn retrograde in your chart, I personally have Saturn retrograde in my chart. It is said that Saturn comes through as retrograde when you have lesson from the last lifetime that you just didn't get, like you just totally missed the boat on it, or you have really unbalanced energy, kind of more in a negative way in that area. So for me, I have Saturn retrograde in my 11th house, which is about, friendships and wishes and social interactions. And so somehow, some way in past life, my energy there is really out of balance. So in this life, it's my challenge. And I will tell you, I have extreme social anxiety. If you guys have not noticed how incredibly private I am, I have a lot of social anxiety, and I've dealt with a lot of really crappy friends, and at this point in my life I just have a few friends that I consider my people, okay? So I can see the truth in that, and then making up for that energy, because my YouTube channel is a perfect example of this, where I'm giving a lot out to humanity, and I'm just so naturally driven and inclined to do that. But ultimately I feel that's that Saturn energy pushing me to rectify the energy of my past life that was out of balance, okay? So if you have Saturn retrograde in your chart, really important which house that falls into, and you'll know that you are making up for past karma. But if it's direct, then just know that is where you are really being grown this lifetime, and probably where you will experience the majority of your challenges, okay? And Saturn going into Capricorn, in general, it's returning to its home sign. And in our history, big changes seem to take place when Saturn is in Capricorn. So Saturn in Capricorn, our 10th house, which is all about career and our status in the world. So universally, overall, big changes in that 10th house for everybody, including Mother Earth herself and just everything that goes on in the Earth reality. But in our personal lives, where is Saturn in your chart? Okay, because that's where Saturn's really working on you personally. And that is the whole point of this reading, because when Saturn goes retrograde, that is when we go into that review period, and also we receive our reward for our hard work. So to me, Saturn retrograde is far more significant than Mercury retrograde, which everybody talks about, okay? Mercury is a very quick moving planet. And so I think of it more like the minor arcana of the tarot, and Saturn would be a major arcana of the tarot, okay? So that's my little bit about Saturn retrograde and what it means for you. I have left a link in the description about for an article that was written by Astrology King, and it is just got a wealth of information about, you know, Saturn and Capricorn in general, and also Saturn being in retrograde. So I highly, highly recommend that you read that as well, just to get a better understanding for yourself personally, and also, you know, check out other resources and information around Saturn and Capricorn and Saturn retrograde. But most importantly, find out where Saturn exists in your natal chart. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get started in the personal readings, or I guess these aren't personal, but I'm going to start with Cancer. So if you are Scorpio or Pisces, go ahead and click the timestamp for your reading. All right, Cancer, let's take a look and see which house is being highlighted for you in this reading. And if the house that comes out is the house that Saturn falls into in your natal chart, this will be an especially powerful reading for you, okay? So you guys have the 12th house. This is really about destiny, okay? This is an area of your life that is overwhelming. You yield to a greater cause or power. So with the 12th house also being highlighted with the 10th house, you have really been, it's all about your destiny, and that could mean any area of your life. So we're going to draw more cards to definitely get a deeper feel for that. But this is about where you've been learning that you can't push against the current. It's more about going with the flow of your life and going through all changes and transitions with grace, rather than, you know, being bitter and angry and just constantly bucking the current. This is really about going with the flow. It says it's the 12th house. This could be, you know, romance, career, friends, your dreams, your ambitions, self-improvement. It could be anything. Okay, this is general, so it will be, you know, wherever in your life you feel that energy that I'm talking about right now. So let's pull some cards to see what you're working on and where you're headed after this retrograde. I remember somebody left me a comment, they're like, you need a basic understanding of astrology. And I'm like, suck it. I do have one. Okay. But with that said, sorry, I got distracted mentally. The whole point in saying that is, you know, I know enough about astrology to read these cards, okay? But I am no way a master astrologer by any stretch of the imagination. And you know what? I really feel that instead of always looking to other people to tell us about our lives and our destiny, it's really good that we get actively involved. And that's why I suggest reading the article and also seeking out other information so that you can really empower yourself and not just take this as being told, if that makes sense, okay? Because, you know, I don't know. I'm all about empowering people and education and growing yourself so that you can be really strong on your own and not have to depend on people. And I think, I don't know the exact wording of it, but there's a, you know, pretty famous quote by Einstein where he's talking about, you know, I'm happy for the people that wouldn't help me because it forced me to do it myself. And that's how I became what I am today. So I really feel that strongly with this 12th house energy. Okay, so revelry and indulgence. this to me is like Cancer feels like you have not been able to have fun and just relax and enjoy yourself. Like you've had a lot of challenge in that area of your life. And what we're working towards is air. Seek a union of mind and spirit. So after this retrograde of Saturn and you do all your review and assessment, you come into a very balanced place with your mind and your spirit, which is everything to do with this 12th house, okay? So let's pull some tarot cards about what the satire is talking about specifically, because he's just somebody who is indulging in whatever, you know. It could be drugs, it could just be partying, it could be fun, it could be sex, it could be food, you know. It's just any number of things. It could be negative thinking. It's just really indulgent behavior. So the fact that it's over here that you've been challenged, to me it feels either you're being really persecuted for being really indulgent by Saturn, or it's like you don't feel like you could be indulgent in anything. It's just been like go, 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 like one lesson after the next, and you're tired and you're over it, okay? Darn it, cards, come on. All right. So we have the Queen of Wands and this view. And this view, you know, things are, it's an enigma. It's very complicated. There's a lot to be figured out still. Some of you, this could be that, you know, whatever this is about has to do with the fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And then next, you know, it's like you're ready to move forward. You feel like you have everything you need, but again, it's like the blockage, like I can't get forward. And why is that? Because Saturn says, no, we have a lot of hard work to do. Some of you, it's like you've been in this hard work mode, whatever it is that this is representing for you. Like you've been in hard work mode for a very long time, and you're just finally ready for some relief, okay? So let's take a look over here, you know, where this is leading to after this retrograde. So this to me is just like an indication that there's far more order and control in your life on the other side of this retrograde, because next up is the Fool, and on this side it's like where we're headed is so much better than where we've been, okay? With the shooting stars, like a really awesome new beginning. So I feel this really hard, long stretch is just about over for Cancer, because now look at this. We're talking about seek a union of mind and spirit, and we have the 12th house here, and now we have this King of Swords coming out. This to me is your energy all day long, and this king here is somebody who is incredibly wise. He's truthful, you know, he's honest, but more importantly, his spirit and his mind are one. His emotions are not controlling him. You see the purple here for the 7th chakra. It's his intellect, his higher mind, and his spirit that is now directing him, and he has matured and he has grown. Okay, so it's like Cancer, you really come out of this strong, and you have done everything you needed to do, and you know, where you've been, where you're headed is so much better than where you've been. It's all about the spirit and the mind for Cancer. Okay. Super interesting that the Sphinx is showing up over here, because this is just utter confusion. And you know, for those of you that are resonating with this, I would highly recommend reading that link, because you have the Sphinx here twice, and within that article, it specifically is talking about Mercury, and it says choose your words carefully. So that's a really like triple strong message for Cancer, is there is something that is just not seen. It's a, you know, the enigma, the great riddle, and you've really got to be careful what you say and how you express yourself and put yourself out there. And now with the dagger here, with conflict and danger lie in wait, where we're headed, because you see this King of Swords standing here with that, it's like you are now protected from that. You can hold your own, no question, because you've learned how to take your emotions out of it. And it's all about your spirit and your intellect that's leading you forward on the other side of this Saturn retrograde. So Cancer tends to be a very sensitive, tender sign, but through this review with the Saturn retrograde and moving forward to the other side, you are so much more balanced. It's all about the mind and the spirit, where your emotions aren't controlling you anymore. Therefore, nobody can emotionally manipulate you or take advantage to stab you in the back, okay? Now, again, if you are just a victim type of person, this does not resonate with you, okay? Saturn is, if you do your work, I reward you. On the other side of this, I could read this if you're somebody who's just really victim mentality, the world is against me, I can't ever get anything that I want, nothing ever goes right for me. That's a vibration of energy. And if that's where you're at, and you stay there through this review, it's even worse for you on the other side. It really is, with these paired up, okay? It's like, nope, we have even more fixed control over you, Saturn, okay? And it's going to be incredibly challenging. So if you do your work, which, you know, from what I see, many Cancers are, you're being strong, you're being wise, you're wanting to expand your consciousness, you're really being grown in that esoteric way. Like, you beautifully transition. So let's pull some more cards. So over here, look at this. We have the Neptune. Yeah, it's just how perfectly paired with that Sphinx. This is your fantasies, yearnings, longings, and potential for illusions. So it's just, you know, really hazy, unclear energy. You're not sure what's going on, what the way forward is. You know, why do I have to work so damn hard at everything? And through the review, you come into that understanding and move forward. So on the other side of that, we have Venus, the part of you that desires beauty, success, indulgence, and valuables. So this could go nice with the satire. And now, since you've been working so hard, not having fun, putting in all that work, you come to the other side, Venus, and you are rewarded. It's finally like we do get to indulge. We do get to have a good time, finally. All right. Oh, damn. Look at, you got Pisces. The energy is wistful, endlessly loving, compassionate, and forgiving. It confusions and softens resolve. So Neptune rules Pisces, which... Neptune and Pisces is part of the 12th house. So yeah, really big spiritual lessons going on here. A lot of discipline and restriction and obstacle for Cancer with Saturn. Please look at where it is in your chart, and so you can compare all of this energy, because this is a heavy, heavy energy that you've been working with, and that's probably why you haven't, you know, been indulging or anything. So over here we have Capricorn, which to me, this is saying your hard work is paying off, and finally, you know, everything is materializing. So over here, we're restricted, we're not getting our way, it just freaking sucks, and we don't know why, but we're pushing through, we're pushing through, we're pushing through, trying to understand. And then here comes the retrograde. We do the review, and we realize, you know, our spirit is speaking to us, and then finally we shift perspective, and then the material comes in, okay? So Cancer, on the other side of this, if you've been doing your work, I promise you, you are rewarded, and it looks really, really good. So that is that for you guys. Again, I highly recommend you look up where Saturn is in your chart. You read that link that I left, because with the 12th house energy coming out for you guys, this is pretty deep stuff, okay? So that's what I have for you, Cancer. I hope you have enjoyed this. I'm wishing you all the best. Take care. All right, Scorpio, let's see which house is being impacted for you with this Saturn retrograde, along with that 10th house energy overall. You know, if this house is the house that your Saturn is in your natal chart, this will be especially strong for you. So we have the 5th house, where you have fun, romance, and create things you are proud of. So this is your creativity, your passion, your sensuality, your fun, like dating and all of that. The 5th house is highlighted for you. So you have 10th house and 5th house going on. And if Saturn is in your 5th house, then this will really resonate for you. So you are being challenged in this area by Saturn. Saturn is trying to grow you. So let's see what that's all about. Oh, okay. And then where we are headed. Oh, well, I guess we better start with this first, huh? The one that threw out. So we have the dagger here. Conflict and danger lie in wait. So with attached to this 5th house and Saturn bringing this as the challenge, this could be like a big struggle with, you know, trying to get your dreams off the ground, relationships just not being very solid. You know, this is just a really heavy energy to deal with. It's hard. I mean, look at what it says, and that this is like what you've been dealing with. So where you're headed after this is the hand of fate. Forces beyond your control intervene. So this is a really good card, actually. It's, you know, positive. So it's like where you have been, you're going to something better, but it's really all about, you know, are you putting in your work and taking the time to understand why you're being so challenged in this 5th house? Or are you viewing yourself, you know, as a victim? Because Saturn doesn't care about your reasons and your justifications and your excuses and who did this and who did that. It's not about that. Saturn only cares about your energy and growing you to your greatest potential, and is going to bring you every challenge possible that will facilitate that. And with the dagger here, I hate to say it, Scorpio, but it's like somebody has really stabbed you in the back and screwed you over. They may have stolen like your idea that you had about something. This could just be like romances have just been on the fritz. Just stuff like that. Everything with the 5th house. But this is what you've been going through, so it's not like a shocker, a surprise. And as this is telling you, it's because Saturn has been challenging you and growing you in that area of your life. So let's pull some tarot cards. So we have the Page of Cups in this direction, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, your fellow self. So this could be your energy, or this could be, you know, somebody that you've been dealing with. And to me, this is like very closed up energy, not really expressing a whole lot, okay? And then now we have this fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but this is coming out as a king, and he's facing the other way. So this is somebody who's in deep contemplation. So I kind of feel like this is like you and like a romantic situation, because this is water energy, and now we have some fire energy. And then look at this, we have the sun reversed this way. So it's like your doubts and insecurities in regards to, you know, these energies, whatever this represents for you, you've learned that you were not wrong, okay? And what I think is, in the name of love or romance or passion, you continually go against your intuition, or that's what you were doing. You were not listening to, you know, the warnings and guidance from your soul. And so like you really have gotten screwed over. And the whole point of that was trying to force you to believe in you more than you believe in anybody else and what they're saying. To believe in your own intuition and recognize that you are a very powerful, wise, and strong soul. And, you know, with this energy, it's like when it feels threatened and attacked, it's most likely like the sea turtle going to retreat into its shell and, you know, swim down into the deep, dark waters because it doesn't want the conflict. But this here, you know, whoever this fire energy is, it's, you know, it's like they just keep doing the same thing over and over. And now, like, because of this, like, you continually going through this, it's put you in this place of, like, I've got to shift. I've got to come into a greater understanding about, you know, why this situation keeps happening. And with the sun this way, like I said, you guys, it's like your fears are warranted. And Saturn's like prompting you to really connect to yourself and, you know, trust yourself over all else. 100%. Also about being more secretive about your plans and what you're doing. Because I feel like somebody's like steals your ideas or something along those lines. So let's see what this hand of fate is, you know, where you're led to after the review during the Saturn retrograde. Because during the retrograde, it's like you come into this understanding of who really has your back and who doesn't, and you're just not interested anymore. You're like, nope, I don't care. I don't care how I feel about you. I don't care what the hell you tell me. I'm trusting me from now on. Look at that. Yep. 10 of Cups. This is so gorgeous. This is a total shift in energy regarding, you know, romantic matters. It's like the opposite of that right there. It's love, it's commitment, it's we're written in the stars, it's union and connection of soul. Okay, and that's paired with this hand of fate. And now we have this earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And in this position, this particular energy, and this could be you, really wants to settle down and start creating something quite significant for themselves. And it's sitting next to this cups. So some of you, this is definitely about romantic love and family and maybe even children. And now look at this. We have the 10 of coins. This is being very well off and doing very good in life. Okay, so you go from this incredibly challenging energy to this like amazing, magical, no words, okay? Because we have a 10 and a 10, and then we have this little page. So it's, you are definitely completing big, big things. And it feels like two things because we have cups and we have pentacles. So we have emotion and then we have earth energy. And then this little page in between, which is the brand new start of something that is going to be very solid and lasting. So Scorpio, you're gonna, this Saturn retrograde is gonna bring you into this really deep review about your relationships and the things you share with other people, and really push you to trust yourself more than you trust anybody else. And then on the other side of this, it's like great reward emotionally and physically, so monetarily for some of you. And, you know, with the 10th house being highlighted overall, I really feel it's career and love. It's career and love for Scorpio. Like, you've just been going through it. And it's been forcing you to trust yourself above everything else. I promise you that. All these challenges. Yep, because look at this. You are destined to succeed. okay? You are destined to succeed and overcome this dagger right there. And look at that, the unicorn, good fortune and friendship. This is all about romance as well. So I just said romance and money, and here we go. You know, good fortune, money, and then friendship along with romance. So whatever hasn't worked out for you in regards to romantic relationships, friendships, career, all those struggles, Scorpio, it's because, you know, this retrograde is pretty significant for you, and they're you're gonna really come into a deep spiritual understanding, and it pushes you forward. And now we do have the romance and the money that we want, okay? So let's pull a couple more cards to wrap this reading up. We have Jupiter, your confidence, courage, self-belief, and luck. So yeah, you've just not been feeling like the universe was on your side in regards to probably career and romance, or just your luck in general, okay? But on over here, look at this. We have Vesta, the goddess within, your sacred spiritual center and quiet dignity. Yeah, so you transition. This is such a big spiritual elevation for you going through this Saturn retrograde. It's going to be so freeing. You're just going to finally understand so many things. Oh, that's the house cards. We don't want those. We want the zodiac signs. You're just, yeah. This is really a deep spiritual thing for you guys as well. So over here we have this Pisces energy with Jupiter. The energy is wistful, endlessly loving, compassionate, and forgiving. It confuses and softens resolve. Also with this here is we are illusioned. Things are not what they seem, okay? They are so not what they seem, and that would make sense with this energy. And the retrograde, I feel if you were illusioned about anything, it snaps you out of it and you see things for what they really are. And again, realize how much you've been not listening to your own heart and listening to what others have to say. And for some of you, you've been listening to what they say because you would rather have their truth than, you know, what your intuition is trying to tell you. So on this side, look at this. We have Gemini. The energy is communicative, mischievous, lively, witty, and informative. Stimulating exchange is possible. So we go from feeling like we're having bad luck, we just don't understand what the hell's going on, you know, it's just one struggle after the next, to, you know, look at that right there. Nobody can pull it over your eyes, okay? Because we have Vesta here. You've really risen, Scorpio, and overcome a lot, okay? So this is great. I love the transition, and this is like so fated in destiny. You know, you will naturally clean house of anybody who has not had your best interest at heart, okay, through this retrograde. It just naturally will happen. And you're going to be like, just, you're no longer going to feel like you have this bad luck anymore, okay? You have the hand of fate there. So it's like, things are going to change, and they honestly, I feel like things change for the better with this this setup of energy, which is just freaking out of this world good right here. Things are going to shift because you are going to cut certain people out of your life, and when you do that, it does change your energy, which creates the space for what you really want to come in. So highly recommend you guys read that article, and also see where Saturn is in your natal chart. If it's the 5th house, oh my God, this reading is probably just like so resonating for you. Now, also seek out other resources of information about Saturn and Capricorn and Saturn retrograde to really help you move through this transition of energy. But it looks good on the other side for you guys. And remember, the retrograde ends in September. So that's what I have for you, Scorpio. I am wishing you guys all the best. Take care. Hi, Pisces. How are you? let's see which house the universe is highlighting for you with this Saturn retrograde, along with that 10th house energy. And if this is the house your Saturn is in your natal chart that comes out here, then this reading will be especially powerful and strong for you. Okay, we have the 5th house. Scorpio got this too, where you have fun, romance, and create things you are proud of. So with Saturn working on this area of our lives here, many of you have been struggling a lot with romance. It could be significant relationship, but this to me feels more like struggles with dating in general, okay? Also with your creativity, you could have been struggling with your creative juices, or, you know, just allowing yourself to have a good time, have fun, that type of energy. Somebody could have stolen some of your ideas, you know. It's just Saturn is growing Pisces in this 5th house. So let's get more information about what that's all about, and also where Pisces is headed after this retrograde is complete. So we have the gate. A barrier keeps you from your goal. So you've been very blocked with whatever this 5th house is representing for you. And what's nice about the gate is, yes, you can't get through it at this time, but once you have the key, you walk on through, and what's on the other side of the gate is really, really good. So you, Pisces, Saturn has been growing the crap out of you with this 5th house. Many of you, this is romance for sure. Okay, on the other side, where you're headed, we have strength and wisdom, and we have the dragon. This, to me, is saying, like, you become very empowered on the other side of, you know, this retrograde, where you are now the dragon, and you are a force to be reckoned with, okay? So let's pull some tarot cards to get more information about that. Okay, I feel like this kind of goes right there, because this is saying, you know, what you've put out to the universe is truly coming back to you, whether for the good or for the bad. It's coming back to you. And that's really, you know, Saturn retrograde all day long right there is, you know, if you've been working hard and doing what you need to do and trying to get through your challenges and become a better person and all of those things, that is what's coming back to you. But if you have not been doing those things and you've been playing games with somebody, or just, you know, not being the greatest of energy, then Pegasus is going to have a reckoning with you. So I think this came out because, you know, this is a general reading. So there's some Pisces who definitely have been working really hard at self-improvement. But there's another set of Pisces out there that have not been working on self-improvement. You've been more like taking advantage of other people. And you really need to be real with yourself. You know, have you been a Pisces who is working hard, being there for other people, empowering other people, really just trying to improve yourself, achieve your dreams, achieve your goals, you know, get out of any sort of sabotaging behavior, negative thinking, all of that. If that speaks to you, then you are going to be rewarded very, very nicely, Pisces. Okay? But if you are somebody who has truly just been a total crap basket of junk to somebody, or just in general, just like negative, taking from other people, being rude, just very selfish, that is what's coming back to you. Okay? This dragon is like a double-edged sword, I feel. And I don't know why, like, that's so important about this reading, but I think some of you, like, you'll remember this and be like, damn. But anyways, so that is that. So over here, we have the Empress. Yeah, this is about fertility and growth and creativity and moving forward. Some of you have been feeling incredibly blocked and not having this Empress energy. Okay, that goes with that gate being closed. Yeah, see, this is the Ace of Swords, coming up with new ideas, being successful. And then now look at this. We have the Four of Cups, which is like, I've missed my opportunity. So many of you, this is some creative endeavor, somehow, some way. Others of you, this is definitely about romance. It's just like, no matter what I do, I don't have success. It's like every opportunity passes me by. It's just not an easy energy to be working with. But this is where Saturn's been growing us, right? So let's see what happens on the other side of this retrograde. All right, this to me is, on this side, means those of you who have been super single, this is definitely like a new romance where now finally we have our garden all beautiful and we're taking a moonlight stroll and somebody interrupts that, okay? So some of you, this is all about a relationship with somebody, and some of you, this is a second chance at that, okay? Because we have the Death card on this side, so it's a second chance at a relationship that just didn't work, that felt like a missed opportunity. And now here we have this Ten of Wands. So what I feel about that, it's a more of an indication of the longevity of this new relationship that's coming in. And honestly, so we have 9 and then we have 10. Saturn goes direct in September. So I would say September, October is where that comes into play, this second chance, you know, with whatever this dragon represents. Some of you, this is about career or getting your creative endeavor off the ground, okay? It has nothing to do with romance. It's just, you know, there's energy being returned to you. And because look, 8, 9, 10, and it's the completion 100% of this lesson, and you receive that key, you know, to walk through the gate. And whatever this new second chances with that 10 of Wands, it's like going to be around in your life for quite some time and has everything to do with the next area of your life where Saturn is growing you, okay? So we have the Siren. A temptation may lead you astray. Yeah, this is where, if this is about a relationship where either somebody left you to go be with somebody else, or you left somebody to go be with somebody else, and you're now looking at who you left as your missed opportunity, and that's who you really want. But it's with the Empress, it's like what you were really wanting, like it just was not happening no matter what. And over here on this side, now the forces of nature favor you. So Pisces, whatever this is representing for you, this huge challenge where you just block, we go into retrograde, the review naturally happens, and you are getting a really big return of what you've been working on. Like you are completing this lesson and moving on to something entirely different, okay? And it's, you have a second chance. So this is all about a relationship for some of you. Others of you, this is like a creative project or endeavor that is now going to finally come into fruition because the forces of nature favor you. So let's pull a planet card to get more, to get a stronger feel of this energy. All right, so we have Venus, the part of you that desires beauty, success, indulgence, and valuables. Yeah. Definitely about romance again, but since it's Venus, it also is creative energy. So it's just playing right in. Let's see over here how this transition happens. So you are really challenged with that Venus energy. So we have the moon over here on this side, the unconscious, sensitive inner emotions and responses. So with this over here, to me, here we have the struggle and now we have the connection, okay? Whereas we couldn't seem to get it over here, now we finally have it over on this side. So let's pull a zodiac sign card. I'm sorry if you hear that. My guinea pig's like going to town on her water bottle. I'm like, are you thirsty in there? Dang, girl. Okay, so over here, look at this, Taurus. Venus rules Taurus. The energy around you shows the abundance of nature. It is rich, earthly, and productive, yet relaxed and slow. So this Taurus occupies the second house, which is about your finances, your assets, things like that. But because of what I see here, again, this is about romance and just not being able to get a relationship to solidify and be as true to you as you are to it. Or if you're if you're a Pisces that has been breaking hearts and playing games, like that energy is going to shift and it's about to happen to you. I hate to say, okay, but if you're the Pisces that's been just jacked around with, again, that energy is going to shift and now it's time for Pisces to be loved and cared about, and that's what's going to happen. Others of you, this is about that creative project, you know, trying to manifest it into reality. It's like, I just can't make this work. But on the other side of this energy, we have two things. We have Gemini and Capricorn. So to me, this is like, if we have the moon, Gemini, and Capricorn, it's like your intuition, your mind are balanced and on point with each other. So now we can finally manifest whatever it is, whether it's romance or something to do with your career and finance or creative project. Now we can manifest it over here on this side because we have gained all the understanding and growth. So for Pisces, where Saturn has been growing you, that is ending and we are completing that and we're moving on to something new. So very exciting for Pisces. Those Pisces who have just had one struggle after the next in romance, definitely changes coming for you guys in September or October. So that is what I have for you. I am wishing you guys all the best. Take care.